What is it? When the people left Egypt, 2 million people, with women and small children and old people, and on top of that, they had all their animals, their cattle, their sheep, their goats. They had to really push it hard. In 7 days, they made it down to the Gulf of Aqaba. And then once they got there, they had to, through the night, cross over to the other side, all through the night. Now they're standing on the other side. And Paul calls this their baptism. As they stand there, they realize that's their old life over there on the other side of the sea, and with the dead bodies of the Egyptian army up on the shore, they realize their old life was dead. They're now on the other side. They couldn't go back. They had a new life. Well, this story here is the first story of their new life. It's like their boot camp. It's the beginning of God preparing them for what lays ahead. God knows that the Canaanites will be waiting for them as they march into the land. And the Canaanite armies will fight everything they try to do. He had to get the people ready. And this story here shows how God is preparing them for what's ahead. See, in their old life, the concept of being free seemed appealing. But the people didn't want to change anything. They just wanted that added to them. They wanted everything else to stay the same. That's not how it works. See, in their old life, they did as little work as they could get away with. They did as much work as they were forced to do. But they could complain all the time. That was one thing that was allowed. The Egyptians didn't mind if they complained. They had a whip. You can complain all you want, but I'm going to get as much work out of you as I can. That is their old life. But now they have a new life. And in this story, God gives them some essential tools to get them ready. First of all, he tells them that he's going to give them instructions. And he wants them to follow instructions. So important in their new life. So important for the battles that lie in front of them. They were to follow instructions. He tells them exactly what they want to do just to test them, to see if they would follow through it. Secondly, he gave them the Sabbath. He said, you're to rest one day so that you could be responsible for the other 6 days and get stuff done. So he gives them these two things. And from this story, for 10 stories, they're like in boot camp to see if they can adjust and become a responsible people. Not to do things because there's a taskmaster with a whip in his hand, but be responsible to get the work done and to do what they're supposed to do because it was right. Well, with this, they're given three important things with this story here. They're given manna. And this would last them until they got into the land of Canaan. Every morning, God would provide them bread. Secondly, they were given the Sabbath, like I mentioned. The Sabbath where they could rest for one day. It was their first ritual of their new life was the Sabbath. And third, they were given a chance to prove themselves. A chance that, in the story called 12 Spies, God said, that's it. You can't do it. So all the slaves just have to die off. And once they all die off, I'll take the children and I'll train the children. These children are free. They will be responsible. And I'll mold them into a people that can go into the land of Canaan and take them over. Very important story in their new life. Well, come back when we give you more insights on the story.